Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's session, AI in 2026, 10 disruptive shifts every business must prepare for. Presenting today's topic is Harsh Sharma. Harsh is a dynamic corporate trainer with AAI champion with expertise in AWS, Python, and DevOps. Over the past 5 years, he's delivered immersive real-world training to professionals at Fortune 500 companies and leading universities. Please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. Today's presentation is from the Data and AI practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. This webinar is designed to help business leaders, IT teams, and forward-thinking professionals to understand how AI is poised to redefine productivity in 2026. As AI rapidly evolves beyond text to seamlessly integrate images, audio, video, and complex data, organizations must prepare for a new era of intelligent, adaptive workflows and faster insight-driven decision-making. In this session, you'll explore real-world examples, the most disruptive AI shifts ahead, and practical frameworks to help your organization adapt AI strategically and responsibly. Discover how leading enterprises are using AI advanced capabilities to enhance customer experience, streamline operations, strengthen security, and unlock measurable productivity gains at scale. Now I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey Harash, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this session, this webinar with the title AI in 2026. And we are going to focus on 10 disruptive shifts which every business must be prepared of, and much more in this direction. So, welcome to this session. I am Harsh Sharma. I'm going to be delivering this webinar. I am an instructor in the domain of AI, cloud, and DevOps with Netcom Learning. The agenda that we have for today's session is here on your screen. We are going to talk about top 10 AI shifts which are coming up in 2026. We are going to focus on the technologies which are powering up, fueling up the next AI era. We are also going to see real world use cases which are signaling the progress of AI. And we will also see that how you can be ready for AI in 2026. So if you have absolutely no idea of what AI is, what should be a particular roadmap for you to follow? These 4 points will be the primary agenda for us today, and then followed by that will be question answers. So first thing first, why this webinar is important? Why you should be paying attention to this webinar? This webinar is about AI and the progress of AI and the impact of AI in our day-to-day life. And surprisingly, adoption of AI across the globe is accelerating way faster than the skill readiness. For example, if you start studying AI from very scratch and in a sequential order, by the time you will reach till the development of 2026, the technology will be advanced 10 times than that. So accelerating speed of AI adoption is way more faster than the speed at which we can be skill ready. We can upskill ourselves. So that is where this webinar position itself. Also, we are slowly moving from the phase of experimentation to the phase of dependency. We are no more experimenting with AI. We are rather dependent on AI. A lot of organizations, a lot of individuals cannot function if AI will be removed away from them. And there are big examples, whether it is search engine organizations like Google or entertainment companies like YouTube or Netflix or e-commerce like Amazon or automobile companies like Tesla and Waymo, or it is ride-hailing companies like Ubers of the world. They are largely dependent on AI as a core part of their organization and their business workflow. And they're not modern organizations as modern as 2025 and 26, but they are migrating so much, depending more and more on AI. So we are going to see that as well. And the third point, which is in fact everybody would agree to, is organizations which are going to prepare now will outperform others. The more you create a delay in adopting and learning and upskilling towards AI, the impact, and I should say negative impact, will be higher. And this session is going to focus more on clarity, what you can do, what is happening, what should be the roadmap, not just hype that, hey, AI is going to take over jobs. We will rather be more materialistic and more action oriented. So, starting with the major shifts which are coming up in 2026. So, I have a big picture to begin with. AI in 2026. The very important line here is that AI has become a default layer and it's not a separate tool. What do I mean by that? Nowadays, you will not see most of the organization building their brand, building their business, and then considering to integrate AI later. Rather, the whole business is built around AI, right? The business will not exist if AI will be taken away. So it is not a separate tool. It is not an add-on layer. It is rather the default layer. Many years back, many decades back, internet, the technology of internet was in that phase. Businesses were adding internet as an add-on, and then slowly internet became the core part of it. And now you see that if you shut down internet, a large proportion of businesses will become irrelevant. And that is exactly what's happening with AI as of today. The focus is moving away from models, which was the focus point up until a few years. LLMs, Anthropics, ChatGPTs, Geminis. were the core point of discussion, and now we are majorly focusing on outcomes. We have agreed to the fact that today, if I have to build a business, I can very well use a model provided by a third party like Google or Microsoft or OpenAI or whether it is DeepSeek or any other. We are more and more concerned about trust, governance, ROI, and these things have become non-negotiable. We don't want an AI model to function. We rather want to also govern it. We also want to establish trust between consumer and enterprise, which is leveraging AI. Most of the AI tools that you go and use has a mention at the bottom at the side somewhere which says AI generated results can be incorrect. That is a way with which the company is establishing trust between customer and enterprise. So, what are major shifts? And I have listed them down into multiple slides. Shift number one, which is happening, is AI is moving away from answering only to acting. And you hear a lot about agents and agentic AI. AI is not just answering you the question, it's rather acting on behalf of you. Many years back, 4, 5, 6 years back, the technology was limited to answer. I can go and say, hey, I want to go to New York. Tell me what is the best pasta restaurant in New York. That's it. It can give me the answer. It can give me that, hey, these are three restaurants, and as per your choice, this is the best restaurant. But today, I can very well go to an AI-based system and say, hey, book me a table for 5 people, 8 p.m., 25th of January in New York, where I can get a very good quality pasta. And it's not just going to give me information, it's rather going to act on behalf of me and book that table. It can also make phone calls, it can also make email communication, etc., etc. Then these AI agents are going to execute the entire workflow, end-to-end workflow. So if you are interested in that, I would definitely suggest you to watch something about Google Duplex, which is a very powerful engine made by Google, and it can take care of booking your haircut appointments, restaurant appointments, doctor appointments. It can take phone calls on behalf of you. And that is a really, really powerful technology. And this line is actually highlighting that. Human intervention has been minimized as much as it could be, and that process is still going on. Technology is improving at a pace where we need less and less of human intervention, whether it is Tesla, where the car is able to drive largely on its own, whether it is Waymo, um, where you need not to drive, the driver doesn't exist. You just need to go and sit on the back seat, and the taxi will take you anywhere you want it to go on its own. Then we have shift number two, which is moving away from one agent to rather multiple agents. So we are calling it agentic AI, where we don't just have a single agent, we rather have an orchestration of multiple agents working together. They are specialized agents. So let me give you an example. Imagine I want to make a bet on the stock market for a particular country, for a particular company. There are multiple things that I have to look at. For example, if I want to invest in Microsoft, which is listed in US stock exchange, I have to look at what is the sentiment in US, what is the sentiment in Microsoft, what technologies they are coming up with, what is their loan, what is their balance sheet, etc., etc., etc. Now, Microsoft is a fairly big company. If you look at any other company which you are not very aware of, you don't know how big the brand is, you have to analyze your balance sheet and financial statements really well. This is one task. You have to analyze their market sentiment really well. That is another task. So what if I say there is one agent which is an expert in balance sheet analysis? There is another agent which is expert in sentiment analysis across social media. There is another agent which is expert in valuation to decide whether this stock is rightly valued or overvalued or undervalued. There is another agent which is expert in deciding short-term stock movement, some technical analysis stuff. That is a multi-agent collaboration where the world is moving towards. Then we have shift number 3, which is focused on prompt engineering. So we are not just asking questions to LLM, we are rather connecting more and more tools with LLM. One of the process, very famous process is called as RAG, where we are going to connect our own data, our own enterprise uh, or private data with the LLM model for it to understand and answer question. I am not talking about fine tuning, which is one of the later shift I have to discuss, but I'm primarily talking about connecting live data like attendance. Attendance records are very dynamic. Today's attendance in my company will be very different from tomorrow's attendance record of my company. And for me to ask a question to LLM that tell me in marketing department what is the percentage of people who are present today, it needs to be connected to my attendance data. And that is primarily what's mentioned in shift number 3, tools, chains, policies, memories. When you interact with ChatGPT today, you are interacting with memory elements. You are interacting with tools element, knowingly or unknowingly. And that is highlighted in shift number 3. Shift number 4 is we are moving more and more towards AI native applications. So AI is not an add-on. It is not bolted on the top of business. It is the business, right? There's nothing else more important in the company except their AI. And there are many such organizations. For example, Copilot, which is embedded into multiple platforms. Or I gave you example of Tesla, Waymo, Google, Amazon. There are many companies and their primary existence is because of AI integrated in that. Either they have been incumbents and they integrated AI very deeply, like Netflix, like Amazon, like Google, or they have been modern companies and they built their business on the top of AI, like Waymo. We also have other shifts, like here you can see shift number 5 and 6 in the context of enterprise control. So AI is no more an individual game, right? I know AI or I don't know AI is not that big of a question now as it was a few years back. Now the question is, enterprise as a whole, the company as a whole, is an AI enabled organization or not? And on that context, you can see here shift number 5 and 6. So shift number 5 is focused on private and domain specific model. We are not interested to use public models anymore. We don't want to use GPT. We want to customize that GPT on my own data because GPT is very well trained on generic data, but it has absolutely no idea of where my company is working, what dynamics are there in my organization, what is the purpose and business model of my organization. All of that is something which is doable when you when you fine tune public models and make it private. So this is an enterprise skill. It's not an individual skill. The companies are becoming AI ready. You have very strong data boundaries and DLPs, data loss protections. Then we have shift number 6, where we are not just using AI or building on AI or making AI customized to my company. We are rather governing AI as well. So shift number 1 to 5 talked about how to use AI, how to make money out of AI and make businesses out of AI. Shift number 6 talks about how to make sure that the AI that you are using is reliable, is aligned with regulated bodies. For example, if you are a bank, you may have a lot of restrictions given by the federal bank, the central bank of your country. Using AI needs to be in line with those regulatory restrictions. You need to be compliant with that. There is a lot of governance and accountability and auditability built around that AI. We need a team which is continuously monitoring AI operations. So at one stage, we are talking about AI taking up jobs, but at other stage, we are also talking about creating new job roles. So I would summarize it as a shift in jobs. We don't want people who are completely unaware of what is AI and still want to do the tasks in their own way, the old way, which is inefficient. We do want people, but somebody who can understand the modern day technology ecosystem where AI is a core part, can build on the top of it, can provide value on that direction. That is why learning AI and working on AI is very, very important. And how do you learn AI? I have some slides in the future. What technologies are actually fueling this era of AI, today's era of AI? So first technology is large language model. And large language model, not in its basic sense, which we call as foundation model. The GPTs, Geminis, T5, all of those are foundation models, but they are just the start. Today's technology, today's business need pretty much require customized large language models, which we call as fine-tuned models. And if you focus on the last line, it says integration beats intelligence. No matter how great your model is, if you are not able to integrate it with your business, because model will not give you money, the customer will give you money. So your business need to integrate that model. Your business needs to provide value with the help of that integration, and that will bring up money in the table. So integration is always going to be the core part of any technology, including AI. So what are various technology stacks? One is for sure foundation model, but then if you fine tune it, it is even better. Then we have vector databases, which are taking up so much. Vector databases are acting as the core of something called as RAG, retrieval augmented generation. If you remember, I mentioned about connecting attendance systems to large language model. That is only and only doable when you have vector databases or something similar. Then we also have AI agents and orchestration framework. So single agent framework or multi-agent orchestrative framework, where we are not just asking questions and getting answers. We want AI to take actions on behalf of us. That is an agentic AI ecosystem. The next important thing is security, because we are talking a lot about large language model, and the word large in that refers to large number of parameters as well as large size of data. We also have been talking about customizing models with our own data. So when we have so much of work to do with data, securing that data, securing the storage and movement and encryption of that data is also a rising opportunity in this domain. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier as well, world today is not just focused on using AI, it is also focusing on observing and governing that AI. So a lot of observability tools, a lot of governance tools are going to um, get rising positions in today's AI market. So if you are somebody who's looking forward to expand like me in the domain of AI, these are some of the areas where you can focus on. Like, for example, as of today, as of this week and month, I am focusing on expanding my skill set on security. So you can also see what is your interest, where you are lacking. If you have a lot of prior knowledge, then you can pick one or more of them and then expand your learning on that direction. Next type of technology that I want to discuss, which is going on pretty much in the mainstream, is multimodal AI. So what is multimodal AI? The form of AI which works with text, image, audio, video, etc. all together. It is not restricted to one modality. Modality as in text is a modality or audio is a modality. If you remember up until 5, 6 years ago, when ChatGPT and other tools were very new, they were restricted to only text-based questions and answers. And now we have image generative model and video generation model. And there are models which can do all of that. Like today's ChatGPT can do almost all of that. That is what a multimodal AI is. Business use cases are expanding dramatically. Then we have use cases of multimodal AI being consumed in training, marketing, ops and support, and many more places. Coming to my third section, that what are some of the real world use cases which are signaling what's coming. And I am going to show you use cases of AI across multiple industries, I think three or four. So one of them is software engineering and DevOps. So if you're a software engineer, if you're a programmer, a coder, a project manager in the domain of software engineering, you're a developer, you are a DevOps person, you can leverage AI, you can leverage Copilot for bunch of different things. So one of that use cases, you will be able to leverage AI to write and review your code. What are various technology solutions which are available in this domain? So I'm sure you have heard of OpenAI Codex if you are in the domain of software engineering. Or you probably have heard of Copilot, which is a Microsoft tool. Or you probably have heard of Copilot with GitHub, so GitHub Copilot. And there are many tools. Amazon Q is one of them. There are many tools which are going to help you in writing and reviewing your code and optimizing that code. If you want a website today, you don't need to write everything from scratch. You can get a large part of legwork done by one of these models. Then you have automated testing and incident resolution. I can create a program and I can test it, but it is pretty much possible that while testing, I missed one or more of edge cases. What's an edge case? You have tried to test the whole scenario, but there was one situation which is very unlikely, but it may happen, and you missed to test on that situation. That is an edge case. With AI, you can include more and more and more of such edge cases. I'm not saying that AI will make the coverage 100%. No, it may also miss it, but it will probably be more creative in finding out what all edge cases can there be. Then we have the third and final point in this slide, which is AI-driven CI/CD pipeline. So CI/CD, for those who don't know, if you're not from DevOps, CI/CD stands for continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous delivery. The basic principle of CI/CD is making software release and version control faster. If my software is currently in version 5, I want to release version 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in future. CI/CD pipelines will help me in that. And this is not a new technology. This is pretty established standard. Now with AI, we are able to automate it and we are able to make it even more efficient from what they are without AI. These are some of the use cases of AI in software engineering and DevOps. Then we have another industry to focus on, that is business and operations. So if you work in operations, business, marketing, sales, HR, anything which falls under this domain, you will be able to use AI as well. It's not only for programmers. How would you be able to use AI? So first example is AI agents will be able to handle reporting and analysis for you. If you are an HR, continuously you would need reports on how many people have been hired, how many people do we need, um, what is the vacancy across different job roles, what is the demography of people working in my company, male versus female, age gaps, etc., etc. So all of that can be put together on a dashboard. But who will create the dashboard? It can be a human, but with more modern technologies, it can also be AI, an AI agent. You would be dealing with a lot of documents on a day-to-day work role, and that document processing can be done intelligently with the help of AI models or chats or agentic solutions. Similarly, the third point is decision support. There again, imagine I am supposed to take a decision on one topic and I am considering a lot of cases that what will happen under this circumstance and what will happen under that circumstance. Whether it is a big decision or a small decision, you might have noticed that sometimes we miss some of the edge cases. We miss some of the cases. We miss to plan a particular scenario. And when we really hit that scenario in real life, we found that, okay, we forgot to plan for it. That's a classic example of edge case testing. So AI here can give you so many edge cases to think, and then it can also think on behalf of you and can give you reasoning, and then you can validate that reasoning, you can iterate on that reasoning, and so much more. And AI is not limited to only software, DevOps, business, operations. It's everywhere. So I cannot put everything on the slide. Here I have other major industries listed in a single slide. One is BFSI, which is banking and financials. So whether you are a credit card company or a bank or an NBFC or a lender, P2P lender, any type of banking and financial work, insurance work, you would be able to use AI for compliance detection, auditing, monitoring, fraud detection, etc., etc. If you are working in the domain of healthcare, then there are plenty of use cases of AI in healthcare for diagnostic and admin automation. If you're working in the domain of retail, then AI has a huge amount of use case on demand forecasting and personalization. Now, the next topic that I have is how do you get ready with the baseline AI technology in 2026? But before I get there, I have a very interesting use case to show you. So let me open that. Give me a minute. So it's going to be a video of 8 minutes, and I'm putting it on my screen. This is a video by Runway Research Organization, which is a really good research organization and product organization in the domain of video and media creation. So we'll be able to see where AI is, what are the capabilities, and then we will move forward. It's going to be around 8 to 9 minutes of video content.
Hey, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jamie.
And today we're very excited to announce and release Gen 4, our most powerful AI model ever.
All right, everybody, it looks like I found this specimen, but should I just grab it?
Seeing double.
Gen 4 sets a completely new standard for both image and video generation. And it's the first model ever that we're putting out that achieves world consistency. That means that you can create consistent worlds with consistent environments, objects, location, and characters.
When you can do that, you can start to tell longer form narrative content with actual continuity. You can generate the same characters, the same objects, the same locations across different scenarios. So you can block your scenes and tell your stories with intention over and over and over again.
It's been very fun to design and develop Gen 4 for the last couple of months and see what the model is really capable of doing. We believe that the best demonstration of Gen 4 as a creative tool is in the stories that can be told using the model.
We also put together a series of short films and experiments to showcase what you're capable of doing with Gen 4.
So now we want to show you the behind the scenes of how those films were made so you can understand how powerful this model is for creating stories with consistent environments.
Let's get into it. The first short we're going to take a look at is The Lonely Little Flame. It's actually a story that our director has been wanting to tell for over a decade, but never had the means to do so. With Gen 4, they were able to tell this story of a lonely little flame who just couldn't find a friend.
I love this film.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The opening shot is really interesting because it kind of like sets the tone and the feeling and the mood for the story itself.
Yeah, and this scene's really all about this skunk searching for something. And with Gen 4, you can actually direct the subject across the scene. So you'll see we give the skunk 2 marks.
So in this case, we wanted the skunk to go first in this side and then return, making it feel like he's looking for something. And you can see that throughout the scene is the same character with the same light, with the same mood, with the same condition. And here we're introducing the character, the protagonist, right?
Yeah, again, like all great animation, you see so much expressiveness in the way that not only the characters are designed with the model, but also moving within these scenes. Okay, so what we just saw was a really great example of character consistency, bringing those same characters across different scenes, different lighting conditions, with different emotions and actions being directed. But you can also just take objects from the real world. So we have a little toy here. We're going to take a photo of it. Yeah. And then you can basically bring that photo of this toy into Gen 4 and then bring it into any environment you want.
So I'm going to do a kind of little demo here. I'm just going to take a picture of this particular object that we have here. Again, just from my phone. So you'll see it come here. I'll do that. And then what I'll do is I'll take that picture and I'll run it through a set of different environments. So now that we have that picture, I'll just drag that into Gen 4 over here as my reference. And I'll also use this photo of New York that I took a couple of days ago. And now I'm going to type the kind of composition that I want. So in this case, I want this wooden toy, maybe leaning or next to the sidewalk of the street in New York City. Now, Gen 4 is combining those references, and there we go. We have 4 initial images that we can browse and select. I kind of like this one, so it's animated. Maybe I want people kind of like coming in front of the toy. And now you can see how we get the motion and the animation that I required, both with the toy and the CD I use as a reference. And of course, you can do this with any location. So we can take the toy to perhaps the mountains, we can bury it on the desert. Basically, you can do with it whatever you want.
Having just seen that, I want to show off the next piece.
You out there, boy. Harlan, I don't like killing cows, but if I have to kill every last one of them, that would be worth it.
Yeah, a lot of drama, a lot of mystery, someone being pursued. We don't know why.
I don't like killing cows.
So let's pause right here. This is a shot I really like. I don't know if you noticed, but we can actually see the reflection of the character in the eye of the cow.
Okay, this moment right here. This does it for me. This is so lifelike, so realistic. The physics here as the fire catches across the grass. You're still nice and dark over here and in the back, but you're getting this nice fall off. Yeah. Super realistic.
So the really interesting thing about Gen 4 is that you can use consistent characters and objects and environments all across your scenes. So in this case, we can start with a character, with design, with cast. We can use another character and environment to basically create the mood, the look and feel, how the character would want to look. You can create a net new image out of that. And then you can branch again out of that image. So you can prompt the model for different shots, different angles, or maybe some changes on how you want that person, that object, or that environment to react, which is really powerful because you can take anything from real images to generated. You can look at anything around you and use it as a prop, either for the characters, the environments, or the objects that are in your shots.
Okay, so this next one is called New York is a
So I would like to pause here. I hope by the video is still more for 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and this is the next part of the video is about animals integrated into cities. If you are really interested, just go to Google and search runway. I'll show you runway research Gen 4, and you will get there, and you will be able to find the video. Right? It's a really interesting piece of work and showcasing not just this video, but the other models. Like this is Gen 4. You may want to have a look at what was Gen 3 and Gen 2 and Gen 1 behind before this. And that showcase so much that where we are in the context of AI and the context of multimodal AI. Coming back to my topic, so next thing that I would like to discuss with you, probably many of you would be waiting for this section, is how can I get started with AI? How can I get going with AI in 2026? So I have divided that into 3 different phases. Ignore this slide 22, that seems to be my mistake. So we have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1 is the foundation. It would be really good to start from here if the baseline is almost nothing in the context of AI. So we have 3 points in phase 1, 3 in phase 2, 3 in phase 3. In phase 1, the context is you should be building AI literacy across teams. If you have many people, many teams, and if you are an individual, you can apply the same thing for yourself. Build AI literacy. Understand what is AI. Identify what are high impact use cases in your company. Establish data readiness. So do you have data to solve those high impact use cases? If you don't have data, can you bring in that data? Can you sanitize that data, process it? Phase number 2 is going to be focused on experimentation. So do some pilot work, create some agents, co-pilots. With those pilot experimentations, measure how much of gain you have developed and create an internal AI guideline, how people can leverage it, how people can use it, how it's going to be stored. What is your viewpoint on responsible AI, how you are managing that, etc., etc. Phase number 3 is the final phase where you're going to integrate this AI into your super core systems. You're going to implement governance, security, you're going to train advanced AI practitioners, you're going to take multiple certifications for your team, preparing them for those certifications, providing them training resources. It should also be done in phase 1 and phase 2, but so much more in phase 3 at a larger scale. You may need additional people to jump into your organization and consult you for various problem statements that you are facing. This is how a three-phase learning plan can be developed. And that brings us to almost the end of this entire webinar. And I would like you to have a look at these 4 takeaways before we close. So first is that 2026 is not going to be about defining AI. It's rather going to be about applying and governing AI. Agents and multi-agent orchestration is going to be the next wave of AI utilization. Early preparations in your individual cells as well as in your organization, it's going to create very long-term advantage. And finally, we need people who have skills, who have mindset focused on AI, and that's going to be mattering more than tools and technologies um, up to a large extent. So these are 4 takeaways, and with that, I would like to close this webinar from my side, and I am open for questions and doubts and discussions which are coming up from people. Thank you, and I hope you got a good value from this webinar.
Thank you, Harsh. That was very informative. And I know everyone's looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions in the questions panel. And while you're doing that, I'd like to pass the presentation rights over to Neha Kumari, our product marketing manager, who's going to introduce you to our wonderful and amazing promotions and webinar related courses.
Hello, welcome and thank you. I hope you've all received the event handout, which is a great resource to guide you through today's session. We truly appreciate you taking the time to join us for this masterclass. Whether you are in healthcare, finance, marketing, or any other sector, AI-driven data solutions are transforming the way businesses unlock value, streamline operations, and drive innovation. We pride ourselves on delivering AI cert trainings through our network of 3,300 plus certified instructors, all active experts in their fields. At Netcom, we've been empowering businesses worldwide since 1998 with cutting-edge solutions that accelerate organizational growth and innovation. Our headquarters are located in the heart of New York City, and we are proud to offer worldwide delivery capabilities to support our global clients. Inside the handout you've received, there's a link to access the session recording for today's masterclass. This gives you the chance to revisit the material or dive deeper into any concepts you'd like further clarification on. Now, let's take a look at some of the latest AI cert courses available. They are divided by roles to help you choose the right path based on your career needs. I encourage you to click on the hyperlinks in the handout to explore the official course documentation and gain a deeper understanding of each offering. It's important to note that all our courses are taught by subject matter experts. Additionally, you'll enjoy perks like 180 days of access to virtual labs, 90 days of class recordings, and access to the Netcom 365 portal. You'll even have the option to repeat classes for free within a specific period if you miss a session or wish to review a topic. We've also included a few additional resources in the handout, including upcoming free events and insightful blogs. I highly recommend exploring these to broaden your understanding of our offerings and how they can help you and your organization achieve your learning and business goals. We have exciting upcoming schedules that you won't miss out. Here are some of them. These specialized programs will help you harness the power of AI for different roles and industries, ensuring you stay ahead in today's competitive landscape. We've also included a few additional resources in the handout, including upcoming free events and insightful blogs. I highly recommend exploring these to broaden your understanding of our offerings and how they can help you achieve your learning and business goals. These specialized programs will help you harness the power of AI for different roles and industries, ensuring you stay ahead in today's competitive landscape. As a part of your journey, we also recommend exploring these valuable marketing assets to further enhance your AI knowledge and skills. Learn about the Learning Passport and flexible team training packages we offer. For organizations with complex, geographically distributed teams, we offer the Learning Passport. This flexible solution allows you to consolidate your training funds for up to 12 months, unlocking tremendous value, including up to 100% additional value on your funds. With the Learning Passport, you get unlimited access to over 4,000 authorized training courses. If your team has ongoing skilling requirements, this is an incredibly cost-effective solution to meet your learning needs year-round. Additionally, the Learning Passport also includes access to certifications, virtual events, blogs, webinars, and special promotional offers available on our website. It's your one-stop solution for building a smarter workforce. And finally, be sure to check out Russell Sardar's latest book. As CEO of Netcom Learning, Russell has written a powerful framework to help organizations build smarter workforces, adapt to change, and drive growth in this rapidly evolving business environment. Don't miss out on this invaluable resource. Thank you for joining us today. With the right knowledge and skills, you can lead your organization to success and stay ahead in an AI-driven world. Stay tuned for more updates and exciting learning opportunities from Netcom Learning. Together, we'll shape the future.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Neha. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. If you haven't yet, it's not too late to pop your questions into the question panel. And as we start our Q&A sessions, we're also going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us to know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register. Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Neha. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. If you haven't yet, it's not too late to pop your questions into the question panel. And as we start our Q&A sessions, we're also going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us to know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register. First question is, how do we decide where AI agents make sense versus where traditional automation or rules-based systems are enough?
It depends on like how you're going to take that decision. It depends on the complexity of the problem that you're trying to solve. If it's a very simple problem, you may not want an AI agent. And if it's a very complicated problem, you may not want a rule-based system. So you need to find out the middle ground that, hey, this particular system is simple system and I can implement rules for that. Or this particular system is not so simple system and I need automation, intelligent automation and agentic AI in that. You also need to focus on what value you get out of it and at what cost. Obviously, implementing agents and agentic AI is going to be a costly process. Do you get sufficient value to cover that cost and get enough ROI is something that you need to look at before we finalize any decision for it.
Second question, with so many models and platforms available, how do organizations avoid vendor lock in while preparing for 2026?
If I rephrase this question, it is like, how do we decide should we choose ChatGPT or Gemini or Anthropic or DeepSeek? And if we choose one of them, how do we make sure that we are not locked in with that vendor? So you need to understand how that model is performing and how it's functioning. There are few open source models as well. If you are interested to work with open source models, that is also a great choice. Again, in the context of LLMs, open source is very vague. Is it open source architecture or open source weight uh, or like what exactly is open source in that? Is that open source data? That totally is going to be important to decide which model should you go with. And then you also have to understand that almost every model is going to follow some sort of standard. Are these proprietary standards or they are open standards? So what do I mean by open standard is that you can move across algorithms and models and you'll find yourself almost in the same trajectory. It's not going to be very noticeable that you have moved from one model to the other. And that is because of open standard utilization. You can also consider going with multiple model and have a multi-model strategy.
Next question is, what skills should professionals focus on now to stay relevant as AI becomes more agent driven?
Um, Almost every skill that we discussed, so phase one, phase two, phase three, start with AI literacy, understand agents, understand LLMs, understand orchestration, understand prompt engineering, understand responsible AI. So I cannot tell you that, hey, focus on X and do not focus on Y. I would rather say that as much as you can study, it's going to help you out so much because technology has evolved so much, but this is not the end. It's going to evolve even faster than it has evolved in the past. So more study is going to be beneficial in any case.
Next question in the queue. How do we measure ROI from AI initiatives when benefits are often productivity or quality improvements rather than direct revenue?
Great. Now you need to understand that what is the metric you are going to capture. Why are you implementing AI? Are you implementing AI to do more sales? Probably not. Right? Are you implementing AI to save some time of your employees? Probably yes. So the metric to look forward is not revenue, but rather time saved, error reduction, cycle time improvement, employee augmentation, employee satisfaction, number of ideas coming up. So there are different type of metrics that you have to look forward. There will be more psychological and qualitative metrics and not quantitative in nature.
And the final question is, what are the biggest risks organizations should watch for as AI becomes more embedded into core systems by 2026?
Great. So there are many risks, but I am expecting that every responsible organization is going to use AI in a very responsible way, and these risks will be considered. The mitigation plan would be there for these risks. But still, there are risks like data leakage. The data can be leaked by AI model. The data storage can be compromised. Encryption can be compromised. AI model can hallucinate. There can be misgovernance issues. There can be over automation issues that you have automated something which should not be automated. There can be compliance issues. There can be fairness issues. So all of that is largely what's covered in responsible AI. That we don't just want to use AI, we want to use it very responsibly, making sure that our stakeholders, whether it is customer, whether it is board member, whether it is employee, is not getting any sort of unfair treatment. We don't want to use an AI model for hiring only to get to know later that this AI model is favoring one type of people and rejecting another type of people, and not just based on their qualification, rather based on their demographic, like gender, height, weight, skin color, etc. So this is not something that we want.
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave this session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.